Hey everybody, welcome back to another Jackson Jet Setting Resort review. Today we are checking into the Helios Grand Hotel on the official opening day of Universal's new theme park, Epic Universe. I flew in on a really early flight, actually the red eye. I was excited to check out the theme park on opening weekend. So in this video, I'm going to show you everything there is to do at the Helios Grand. I'm going to show you what early entry is like for park guests because everything is just so brand new with this hotel. So as I said, I arrived on the early red eye at about 6 a.m. pulling up to the front door of the Helios Grand. This is the first hotel that Universal has built that is within the theme park. So the front of the hotel is where valet parking will be. They also have bus transportation to the other two theme parks as well as City Walk. So you can find that just down the road here. Any sort of Ubers or Lyfts that you might be taking to other attractions in the area will pick up right at the front there where you'll drop off your car for valet parking. There's also self-parking. The self-parking and valet parking have different pricing. Self-parking is $36 a night plus tax, and valet parking is $45 a night plus tax. So now let's step back inside and see how check-in went on opening day. So everything was pretty chaotic because everyone was super excited for the park's grand opening on May 22nd. Everyone was trying to get their room keys so that they could access things in the park, be able to walk through the entrance at the Helios Grand, because there is a private entrance to Epic Universe here, which is probably the main draw of this hotel. So I sort of anticipated that there would be a line here. It took about 45 minutes or so to get checked in, which wasn't too bad. They did handle the line very well, and they had this awesome violinist going. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for my day because I didn't have a park ticket for actual opening day. I could have bought one, but I already had Animal Kingdom plans. So I was just excited to be in the moment here and witness all the excitement. I noticed on the outside of the hotel facing the park, they had this patio area. And so I went and checked that out. So the two statues here in the park. This one is of Apollo, and then Luna is on the other side of Celestial Park, which is the main kind of entry land that flows through the entire theme park here at Epic Universe. And during the day, at the end of the day, Apollo actually passes the light over to Luna, and then the nighttime beauty of the park really starts to shine. So really cool design of this theme park. There's lots of water, there's lots of fire, gardens all through Celestial Park, and Helios is a big symbol of the park because it does loom over this entire area. It frames the park really nicely. I just loved this statue though, and it was cool that you have this little private patio area just for hotel guests and anyone visiting the hotel, maybe some of the restaurants, but you can actually check out some of the fountain show and things like that from this patio. I did love these torches and podiums that had water flowing through them. These were like some of the coolest light fixtures I've ever seen. So I really did love that. But back to the line inside, right next to me, getting close to checking in, is the Aurora Market. This is going to be the grab and go area. This is where you're going to get your coffee in the morning, maybe your croissant, a light bite to take into the park with you like I did. They also have some grab and go items for the room, maybe like some beers or Gatorades. They have a Coca-Cola Freestyle machine right there. So just different snacks. It's got a general like theme to it, just kind of wistful and very elegant. So I did like this area. I liked the food here too. This is where I grabbed breakfast before my visit the next day for early entry. It opens at 6 a.m. in the morning, and they have a lot of different types of pastries, a couple different hot items as well. And then you got your baristas making the coffees, and they really just have like an espresso machine that's automated just to make things move a little bit quicker here. So just keep that in mind if you want like a barista made coffee. Go into Starbucks over in Epic Universe. There's two of them in Celestial Park. Love the artwork behind the check-in desk here. But once I got my room key, everyone was super nice to check in, all very excited. And I made my way to the elevators. They had this awesome projection mapped daytime scene going on, and that actually changed to nighttime later in the day. So really beautiful artwork and technological marvels happening already before you even get up to the room. cool elevator feel here, kind of cloud-like. I had room 508, which was a park view room. It's located towards the end of the hall, which I quite liked. I kind of reduced that room or hallway noise, really, that can be bothersome. I've noticed that a lot with Universal hotel rooms, is that you can hear a lot of the hallway, and that was definitely true here at the Helios Grand. I could still hear a lot going on in the hallway, which is definitely a bummer. I do wish that they would fix some of the soundproofing in here. But as you walk into the room, you got a closet there with your iron and your safes, laundry bags, that sort of thing. Really cool looking bathroom as well. Definitely has a lot of gold going on in this room. Kind of that celestial elegance. Kind of like some of the newer Star Wars, if that makes sense. Like the time before the Empire took over and you were on kind of the casino planet or something like that. I really liked the design of these rooms. I liked how they had different drawers for storing things. You had the hair dryer in the last drawer there. So everything you could possibly need here. And then separate, you have a sliding door into the toilet and the shower. So the shower is going to be your typical hotel shower. Full door, though, to make everything nice and warm when you're trying to take a warm shower after the parks. Very important with how hot things are here in Florida, making sure that you're all nice and clean for bed. Moving into the bedroom. So I had a 1 king room. The coffee is Keurig. It's going to be over there to the left, right underneath the television. And I liked the colors of the room. I don't think that this is necessarily like a 5-star room. This isn't anything like I saw at maybe the Conrad Orlando or some of the other high-end true 5-star hotels that are located in the Orlando area next to the theme parks. But I did like the iPad in the room, and it did work quite well. You could turn off all the lights. You could turn off the curtains. You close the curtains, rather, which is really cool. Just kind of control everything from the iPad. Worked as a television remote. So really nice little feature there, gives it kind of a high-end vibe. But the real star of this room is going to be the park view. Now, they do charge a premium for the park view. If you don't have the park view, you're going to be facing the other side of the hotel, and there's not really a ton to look at on that side. But I absolutely loved this view, especially at night. For me, not having a park ticket exactly on opening day, but the next day, it was a nice little preview of my day. So I do think that there is just a good reason to upgrade to this view over just the boring nothing view on the other side of the hotel, because this is the start of the show. This is why you booked the hotel. Now, an argument could be made is you're not going to be spending much time in the room here because you're going to be in the theme park all day, and I definitely hear that for sure. So you also have a mini fridge that'll store all of your, to-go food that maybe you didn't finish, a couple different drawers there as well, and then here's just a preview of a little bit of what's going on with the iPad. So a little bit about the hotel. You can get the weather for the day, which is helpful. All nice stuff for the guest and designed around, giving a really, really good guest experience. So overall, loved the room itself. Now, I stay at a lot of really nice hotels on points around the world, so I am a bit of a hotel snob. I will say that this hotel is definitely priced more for the location rather than the true luxury of the hotel. The convenience is amazing, though, especially if you have young kids that are maybe still in that nap time. It's going to be so easy to come and go from the park, or during those hot afternoons, you want to just go hang out at the pool, which, as you can see from my tour here, the pool is absolutely spectacular here. But it's not a 5-star luxury hotel, and I don't think it's really trying to be. All the service on property, though, has been excellent. Everyone has been super nice, super helpful. Obviously, it's the opening day, so everyone's really excited to show off the property, but that there is definitely what even some luxury hotels miss. Sometimes you could have a really nice property, but just kind of cold service, and not here. They're really well trained. They were finding my bag that I was storing, chatting me up, making sure that I was having a great stay. The bartender at the bar, trying out the Paloma, was asking, how things were going. So everyone was really excited to be opening this hotel finally, getting the park open. So it's definitely an exciting time for everyone, me included. So now we'll head out of the room and head over to the rest of the hotel, check out a few more of the public spaces. So the hallways definitely continue the theme of the room, which I liked quite a lot. And here's a view of the other side of the hotel. So this is kind of what you would be looking at if you didn't upgrade to that park view room. Downstairs, you do have a Universal Studio store. This has a lot of items from within the park, as well as some of the other parks. So if you have that last minute souvenir that you needed to grab, most of the more popular items and t-shirts and things like that are going to be available here. You're also going to have sundries, medicines, things like that maybe you forgot at home or need. during your trip. So this is a very cool little spot, and every hotel at Universal Studios has this, which is really nice. Even the budget hotels. So always trying to get that last dollar out of you. Good thing to pick up are those power bands or the wands before you get into the park, not to waste any time with that. Now, a big benefit of the hotel is going to be that park entrance right there to the left. It's going to be right next to the Aurora Market. So you're going to have security. You're going to clear security right there, and you walk right into the theme park. But most crucially, I think at the end of the day, you walk right out of the theme park and up to your room. That is just a huge benefit of this hotel. Now, down the hall a little bit is going to be the gym. So I never work out when I am at a theme park hotel. I'm walking so much during the day. That is not a focus of mine. But this gym is quite nice. All brand new equipment, obviously, since it is a brand new hotel. Techno Gym stuff. They had apples in there, which I did steal one of those just to get a little snacky before the theme parks. It's always a pro tip of mine. If you're visiting a hotel, go check out the gym. Maybe you find a free water bottle or maybe a apple or something as a light snack. But they did have Pelotons, I noticed. They do have a game room arcade as well. And this is just your typical hotel arcade, but it's nice to have this for the kiddos. And there's a nice little secondary room with a more elaborate, like, prize area with some claw games and stuff. I hadn't really seen a big claw game wall like this in a while, so it was cool to see. So that is available for you. And then across the hall from that is the business center, which didn't appear open quite yet, but this is where you'll probably print out your boarding passes and things like that, maybe be able to take a call if you need it. And then you walk out the doors next to all those, and you're going to head into the pool. And as you walk down the windy path, you'll find a little games area that they had set up with some natural grass there, which is always nice. Place to throw around a football or something like that. But the pool is called the Lotus Lagoon, and it's definitely one of the more impressive pools that I've seen at a Universal Studios Orlando hotel. A lot of them are honestly pretty elaborate and very epic feeling, but this one had a really unique feel to it. So after scanning the key card, walking in, you notice a lot of cabanas. So they're definitely thinking that they are going to be able to sell a lot of cabanas in this tiered system that they have going down to the pool. Varying prices, obviously based on demand too and season that you're visiting. So you may have a different price there, but that's going to have your private area. Some of them have TVs. They have fridges and things like that. A lot of amenities that make your pool day a little bit better. Maybe that break day in between different theme parks, your more relaxation day. And then you make your way down to the main lagoon here. And the lagoon is very, very impressive. It's one giant free-flowing pool. No water slides or anything like that, which I found a little bit surprising given how many families are here. But now we'll just take a walk through the pool area. I love the zero entry feel of it. There's actually a zero entry beach on the other side that you'll see. But I just love how it matches exactly with the pavement here and the lining of the pool. Here's that zero entry again, and this is going to be the spot for the kiddos. They have a little fountain set up for them, which is nice, but no true dedicated like splash pad area that some hotels do have. And you see the bar in the distance there. We'll check that out in just a moment. But it's just a really beautiful pool complex, and I think they really knocked this part out of the park. I think, honestly, this is maybe my favorite area of the hotel in general. Just a really, really inviting pool. More cabanas on this side as well, and then you can actually see the show building for Monsters Unchained right there. So I do hope that they have the trees grow in a little bit and they shade that, because I just think that the immersion of being at a luxurious hotel, you don't need this ugly back-of-house building ruining your pool day. bathrooms right here as well as we make our way to the bar. If you're looking to save a little bit more money on your next theme park visit, I've partnered with Finance Buzz, who've chosen the best credit cards from their trusted partners to ensure you're not leaving valuable rewards on the table or paying more for travel than you have to. Visit www.jacksonjetsetting.com/cards or click the link below to learn more. I will say throughout the Helios Grand Hotel, I found that the food and beverage was very delicious, but a little overpriced for what it was. Now, I will say this Paloma was one of the better Palomas that I've ever had, so I will give it that. But overall, I think that, beers were over $13 each, and I just feel like that was a little high. Just something I noticed. I know that this is a resort and things like that, but I visit a lot of resorts and I just feel like this felt a little more expensive than what I was expecting. But really good views of the hotel from the bar as well. And now we'll make our way back up to the hotel and check out a few more options available for food and drink. There's a small hot tub. Probably won't need it most nights. It's plenty hot here. And then I noticed that there is like a little fire pit going on. It does get a little chilly at night during those winter months, so probably useful there. And then kind of a fancy looking poolside shower, which I liked. And as we make our way out of the pool, just wanted to point out the concierge desk here, so they'll be able to set you up with any sort of cabanas, give you towels. They had sunscreens, which is really nice. That's definitely a high-end hotel option. Those free sunscreens, big thing. I'm heading upstairs to the bar Helios for a little cocktail hour, and then going to check out a few more of the restaurants around the property. So excited to show you around here at the newest luxury resort here at Universal Orlando. So up on the top floor of the hotel is going to be Bar Helios, and I think this is definitely the star of the show. You have some really cool art on the wall, and as you walk in off of the elevators, you just notice why this place is going to be so popular going forward. It's got perfect views of the entire park. You're up in the dome of the hotel, and you just have this awesome artwork, celestial constellations above you as you have your dinner, maybe a cocktail after the parks. Or if you're not visiting the parks like I was, just enjoying a leisurely time up there. This place was really cool. It's going to be a great spot for any fireworks or maybe the fountain show that are going on each evening. Still sorting that out since the park is new. But this is going to be a great spot for that. Pretty elaborate cocktail list as well as dining menu. I would say it's more on the smaller bite size, but you can definitely get larger format plates as well. But a lot of different options here for everyone. It's going to be kind of Mediterranean in feel. I just loved the dome with all the constellations though. This was a really cool looking bar. So I had to imbibe a little bit. I wanted to try an old fashioned, which was actually made with añejo tequila, and it was delicious. It had this big bunch of cinnamon right on top of the ice cube, which was awesome. And then the steak was perfectly cooked, medium rare. Good chimichurri here, if a little bit expensive like I mentioned before. Did want to try this martini as well because it was infused with dill, and I love the presentation of all of the dill here. I just really love this bar. I think it's a really awesome home run for them, and it's going to be an awesome hotel bar going forward. They also do have a little corporate area up here, the Helios Grand Hall, which I didn't check out, but for any corporate events or maybe a wedding, you can go check that out right here. Get married at the top above all of Epic Universe. And I think the star over here, besides the constellations, is going to be the view of the theme park. You have awesome views of every portal, and I did want to just take a look at Stardust Racers, which is maybe my new favorite roller coaster on planet Earth. It is just an amazing roller coaster, and it's really fun to watch from up here because these dueling cars are just weaving in and out of each other throughout the entire ride. It is a lot of fun. Going back downstairs, I noticed that the elevators had changed over to nighttime, which is awesome. I love that. And now we're going to head back through the lobby, which is cleared out from all of the opening day chaos a little bit. And we're going to go check out Flora Taverna, which is another Mediterranean style restaurant here. This is going to be their full service restaurant on the ground floor, open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And they do have a bar area here. I did want to check out the bar, even though I had already just eaten. So I did want to just try some things out. But I did love the theme of this. This did feel like a Greek garden of some sort. Lots of colorful flowers on the ceiling, olive trees there towards the back. I do want to mention that every restaurant had their own coaster, so if you're a coaster collector, this is heaven for you. I tried the old fashioned here. That was excellent as well. It was like a coffee infused old fashioned, which was absolutely delicious. But yeah, the bar itself having a few TVs for watching sports, great bartenders, and again, those olive trees in the back really give it a cool sense of place. I wanted to try the spanakopita, and it was okay. It wasn't my favorite dish that I had here, and again, a little expensive for what you got. Not a huge portion by any means. They do have an outdoor patio too, which is great if you want to watch that fountain show. And at nighttime, this area really does sparkle. You can see the Apollo statue that I showed you earlier at night, and back up in my room, just how beautiful this park is at night. And the main draw, I think, for the park view room is going to be that nighttime fountain show, which I saw the entirety of from my room because I wasn't in the theme park. You can see Stardust Racers over there in the left corner too. I just absolutely beautiful time here. But now I want to take you through the process of early entry at Helios, because I was here on the first day that they allowed it, when the park was officially open, at least. So I stood in line. I got there nice and early. I do think that this process could go better, and I really just chalk it up for the first day that this was happening. At about 7, they started processing people through security, but it's not a very big room, and they had to stop people for about 30 minutes. So at 7:30, they finally started processing again, got right through security, and then had to wait until 7:50 for the rest of the park to actually open for early entry, which I pretty much expected. But it was nice that they allowed us at least to process into the park and just be ready to go for that 8 o'clock rope drop, if you will, if maybe a little bit earlier. Here's another view of the Helios from early entry. Just a beautiful hotel. I really think that they knocked that out of the park for sure. Fountains were going early in the morning. I was all excited for my first day in a brand new theme park. If you are interested in a review of what the VIP tour experience is like, that is up on the channel as well. And if you like this type of content, if you love theme park videos, if you love resort tours, please subscribe to the channel and like this video. It really helps us out. So at the time of my visit for early entry, only Celestial Park as well as Super Nintendo World were open for early entry. So that meant that you had Stardust Racers, you had the Constellation Carousel, and then you had several rides within Super Mario World. Even though I was really excited for Stardust Racers, I figured that that would not have as long of a line later in the day, and I really didn't know how crowd levels would be throughout the day. I had a VIP tour booked for the day, as I mentioned, so I knew that I was going to be able to do every ride at least once, but I was really excited for the Donkey Kong ride, Minecart Madness, so I decided to head there first because it wasn't on Express Pass, and if lines got kind of crazy later in the day, I knew that I would get a few rides in. I was really surprised, though, at how unbusy it was within here. There's also options if you don't want to do the rides, if you just want to do some of the mini games within the land. If you have a power-up band, this is a great time to go and do that, or to go ride Mario Kart, which is going to have a pretty big line throughout the day no matter what the crowd levels are. So I was able to ride this ride 4 times back to back to back to back. I was able to do a few more things throughout Super Nintendo World, like some of the power-up band attractions, and then had to head back over at 9 a.m. for my VIP tour. So it was a very successful hour within the theme park, part of the perks for any hotel at Universal Orlando, but really nice at Helios. Thanks a lot for watching this video. This is the end. I'll see you on the next video.